Hi everyone, welcome to Board of Tanks with stewiejp. I'm Stewie and this is the Tier 9 German medium tank, the Leopard Prototype A, or the Leopard PTA, being driven today by Agent Infinity from Team Autism, whatever that means, and he's on. Fiery Salient, top tier in this game, a Tier 9 battle. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Tier 9s on Agent Infinity's side and 6 on the enemy side. The enemy side quite heavy though. They've got the advantage of having more heavies, and Agent Infinity's side have the advantage of having similar mediums and one extra tank destroyer by the looks of it. Now Agent Infinity doing a good job here, even though he's a top tier medium tank, is not scared to be the one who's going to do the spotting for his team. And moving up to the bush that he's just moved up to now, you can often spot any heavy tanks that might be crossing to head up to the hill where heavy tanks often go, and mediums often go there too, as well as tank destroyers. He gets a shot into the side of the defender tank, the Tier 8 premium Soviet heavy tank, and you can see he's firing APCR, which is the standard ammunition for the Leopard PTA. 105mm gun does on average 390 hit points of damage if it penetrates, and the penetration is 268. Heat roads, high explosive anti-tank is 330 penetration, as he lights the Centurion 7-1, the Tier 9 British medium tank. And is he going to shoot him? Choosing not to by the looks of it, waiting till the British tank gets around the corner. He just misses that shot there, gets lit by the British medium tank, moves around, looks like he's hoping for another shot, and that shot misses as well. But he's also lit up a T30. Doesn't want to get shot by the T30. Of course, the Leopard PTA doesn't have much armour. If you ever bounce anything, you're very lucky. I remember I bounced a big, like a Jag Panzer E100 or a Death Star gun off the turret of mine once, which you don't want to be relying on the armour of this tank. It's pretty thin armour, but good vision, good rate of fire, good gun, that's for sure. The gun I found when I was running around in my Leopard PTA, I very rarely needed to fire premium ammunition. Score on 0-all. Looks like a little bit of a... I don't know, looks like it's a little bit slow. Agent Infinity side having a good presence in the middle, but you think with all those tanks there that some of these red tanks would be lit up a bit better. There's one, the IS. He tracks the IS in the back. Just after I finished saying how accurate how good the gun was. He's hoping to get another shot into the Tier 7, but it hits the dirt just in front of the railway lines. At the moment, not looking too good, Agent Infinity from Clan TE. Looking to get some cheap damage into the sides of the tanks that are in the middle. Now he's turned around to look at what's up the top. Of course, the higher you get, the better you can shoot into the middle, but of course the higher you get, the more likely you get spotted by the other tanks on the hill. Picks up 530 hit points of spotting damage into the defender. Of course, the defender's this tank on the hill there. And still looking for a cheap shot into the tanks in the middle. That Centurion 1 gets lit coming around the hill, and the last few weeks or few months on this map, I've seen a hell of a lot more. As Agent Infinity puts a shot into the side of the auto-loading American medium tank, he's hoping for another shot, but it looks like he's just got out of cover. He wants to be careful that Centurion doesn't light him up, because if he gets lit, then a lot of those tanks in the middle will be able to get cheap shots into his tank. Of course, it is lightly armoured, so even that Tier 7 will be able to penetrate him for about 400 a shot. Puts another shell into the Centurion 7-1. Looks like it's a new Korean player with the username starting with user 3000. Of course, the Korean server is no more, and they've come to join us on the Asian server, and to avoid any clashes of usernames, I guess all of their usernames have been reset. They get a free name change. Puts another 386 damage into the Centurion 1. He got spotting damage and damage done because he tracked the British medium tank. The score still 0-all. Agent Infinity's on nearly 2,500 hit points of damage. He'll want to turn this into a real ripper of a game. He picks up the first kill, taking down the Centurion 7-1, and it's the first kill in the game. And now it looks like he's looking at those tanks that are in the middle, but he looks like he just doesn't have the shot. Looking at the mini-map, you can see why Agent Infinity hasn't really pushed on this hill. The only tank coming with him is a low tier 7 IS. As he puts a shell into the defender, the Jag Tiger shoots him from back here, which has been an interesting angle. It must have just gone past, the shell must have just gone past that, the ridge on that hill as he aims towards the KV5. That'll be a nice shot if it hit. Just missed, it went into the dirt. Even though he's missed a few shots, he's still on nearly 3,000 damage. I think that's about to get added to. No, misses that IS-2 again. That IS-2 is proving to be a very hard tank to hit. He's had a few cracks at the IS and the IS-2, and it hasn't. RNG just hasn't gone his way. Agent Infinity giving the IS, the T7 heavy tank, a bit of advice to fall back because he is low tier. I can't remember what this tank was. It wasn't the Defender. That'll be the T30. Of course, the T30's got that big gun, which does around about 750 damage if it can penetrate, and it's not going to have any trouble penetrating the Leopard PTA or that IS. Fires clutch at the T54E1. Doesn't land it. Just waiting for opportunities. 3-0's the score. Done just under 3,000 hit points of damage and 1165 assisted damage, which isn't a bad start at all. Lucky enough to have most of his hit points left. He's only been shot once for 233 damage by the looks of it. Does a quick loop. Not sure what he was doing there, but as he's aiming towards that T44-100, the premium Tier 8 Russian medium tank, but he's not silly enough to poke all the way up. Lots of tanks camping the 1-2 line. And that's why Agent Infinity not pushing too far. He tracks the T54E1. No one gets a shot into him though as he waits for that German gun to reload. Not lucky enough to get any damage on that occasion. That Jag Tiger picks up his second kill, taking out the M41 Walker Bulldog in the middle of the map. And with all the tanks lit, I think Agent Infinity is quite confident that that T30 is pretty much on his own. The only other tank that isn't lit is the Scorpion G and the T54, which they both could be up here. But he's letting his teammates know that he's going up the hill by pinging on the help key, and he's hoping that somebody will have shots on that T30 because he's just been lit. And so he's pulling right back, letting the IS know that he's doing it and advising him to do the same. He really doesn't want to be spotted out in the open for too long if he can help it. His team getting a massive tanks here on the western side as he fires blindly towards the T30. 5-zip the score though, so he's in a pretty good position to turn this from a good game into an awesome game. He's already done 3,000 odd damage. No idea if that shot to the T30 penetrated. I wouldn't have thought that it would penetrate even if he hit it, because it does have a pretty strong turret, and he didn't have a great deal to aim at. The enemy IS-2 gets lit up, but not really presenting himself. He's just behind that dead defender. Agent Infinity using the bushes to maximise his camouflage rating. Scorpion G gets killed by that T54E1. And it looks like the VK3002 is getting a little bit brave and pushing down that one line. And he's got plenty of backup, so why wouldn't he? M41 Walker Bulldog sitting in that bush trying to spot that STRV on the western side, and all these tanks just sort of hanging around there hoping that, like the first song on a wedding night, doesn't want to be the first person to get on the dance floor. 112, I'm not sure if he's in the game or not, but I don't know if he's been there all game. I haven't really been paying attention to the 112, but it looks like maybe the kettle boiled. 5-2 the score now. It was 5-0 not so long ago as Agent Infinity aims towards the Conqueror. Gets a nice shot for 407 hit points into the Tier 9 British heavy tank. It looks like a British heavy tank blindly firing in Agent Infinity's general direction. takes his damage up above 3,000. He's looking for the kill shot on that T44. T44 not going to present itself. He backs up towards these bushes. He doesn't want to get spotted from the southern side of this hill, so he's just making sure that he stays in these bushes and doesn't get lit. Of course, the German medium tank, not known for its armour at all. T44 100 getting a little bit brave there, but staying low enough so that the train and that train track protects him. 5-2 the score. 4.5 minutes left in this game, so somebody's going to have to do something sooner or later. Fly Garuda, 1945. Or maybe he's a pilot. Garuda, the airline of Bali in Indonesia. Maybe he's a pilot. I don't know. 5-3 the score now. 3,357 damage from Asian Infinity. 1165 assisted damage as everyone hurry up and wait. That's what the go is there. Auto aims at the IS-2. He's not spotted. He's going to get spotted very soon, even if it's just by proximity. The IS who was with him got killed. He picks up 469 assisted damage from spotting the Tier 7 Russian heavy tank. Fires towards that pesky T-54 E1. He just doesn't want to get shot, does he? The American auto loader finally gets a shot into the side of the T-54 E1. The T-44 100 gets killed by the baby Batchat. And Asian Infinity looking for some more damage. He's on 3770 so far, nearly 2,000 assisted. He wants to light up that heavy tank. There it is again. The IS. Is it the IS or the IS-2? The IS-2. 287. He's down to 173 hit points. The baby Batchat snipes it from the centre of the map, making the scoreboard look a little bit more healthy at 7-4. I find it very strange that IS-2 could spot Asian Infinity before Asian Infinity spotted him, though. Very, very strange indeed, but there might be something else up there. Maybe they've got a very highly skilled crew. Looking at the tanks to the left, the T-30 is clearly up on the hill. The T-54, I don't know, where would he be? Maybe he's not playing. Maybe it's AFK. Asian Infinity picks up his second kill, getting rid of the Tier 7 Soviet heavy tank, and now he's focusing on this T-30. He's hoping the T-30 misses a shot. He doesn't miss a shot. He shoots and critical hits the American Tier 9 turreted tank destroyer, and he wants to stay away from that big gun. 335 spotting damage, picks up another 400. Scorpion G gets killed, and Asian Infinity picks up the assisted damage for him, puts another shot into the T-30. The WZ111 gets both kills on the Scorpion G and the T-30, and of course Asian Infinity nearly rolls it. Maybe he's been platooning with Staffy. My dog's a Staffy. She's a beautiful brindle Staffy. Anyway, 12-4 is the score, as Asian Infinity now is coming back to try and clean up the last remaining tanks. And of course, yes, that T-54 stuck on the cap. It's unfortunate that this is going to end in an AFK tank, but don't take anything away from Asian Infinity whatsoever. It's free damage all the way and free assisted damage all the way. Does he get his third kill on the AFK T-54? He doesn't. The VK4502B has that honour, as the KV5 would be a one shot for Asian Infinity, I reckon. If he can get a shot in, he doesn't want to take too much damage. He takes 391 from the STRV 103, and he still hasn't spotted the Swedish TD. T-54E1 kills the KV5, and now it's just a case of who can get the most damage, who can pick up the last remaining shots on the Swedish tank destroyer. The Swedish tank destroyer just fired at the T-54E1, and he's aiming at the Bulldog now, so Asian Infinity knows if he stays away from that big Swedish gun, he'll be able to pick up a couple of more shots. And the Bulldog looks like he's ready to fire as well, and the Bulldog gets a last kill. All in all, a pretty good game from Asian Infinity in the Leopard PTA, the Leopard Prototype A, on Fiery Salient, as we have a very quick look at the post-game battle results. There's going to be another battle straight after this. The Ace Tanker Mastery Badge Spotter Bruiser, 5 for effect, and the Confederate for shooting more tanks than anybody else. He shot most of them, that's for sure, and had an absolute ripper in the Leopard Prototype A. 5,826 hit points of damage for his 2 kills. That gave him a base experience score of 1582. He fired 31 shots, 21 hit. There was those shots early on that loosely went into the dirt or onto the railway line, which was a little bit unlucky, but damage upon detecting 3,772 was an absolute ripper. Comfortably top scored on both sides, apart from the T30, who had an absolute ripper as well, nearly 6,000 damage. Isn't too bad at all. Made some credits with the standard account, nearly ran out of time, but he aced the Leopard Prototype in style. As we move on to the second game, featuring Agent Infinity from TE Clan in his Leopard Prototype on Redshire this time, and he's not stuffing around. He's going straight into the middle of Redshire to try and get a few snipey shots into the enemy team. This lineup a little bit different. There's mouses as far as the eye can see. 2 mouses on each side, or 2 mice on each side. Mouses or mice? Don't know. Not a great deal of heavy tanks on each side, but clearly 2 mouses, or mouses, or mouse, mice. Depends what school you went to, I guess. WZ132 doing a good job trying to get some vision forward in the centre of the map. Hopefully he survives as Agent Infinity looks for something to snipe at. The mouses and the Type 4 Heavy, along with the Leopard 1, going along the heavy line as he turns his turret to the pattern. No idea where that shot went. Couldn't even see the shell, but it wasn't fully aimed, so it could have went absolutely anywhere. Hoping to pick up an early shot on the M48 Patton, the American Tier 10 medium tank. The one that I've had unlocked for ages, but Wargaming just won't put it on sale. And I'm a stubborn old bastard. I'm not going to buy it until it's on sale. Baby Batchat gets rid of that Centurion 7-1 quite well. As Agent Infinity looking at that Leopard 1. This is the tank that the Leopard PTA leads to. And of course that doesn't have any armour either. So he picks up his first shot of damage. It's thirsty work doing these videos, I tell you. Anyway, 1 zips the score. He's just looking for a few snipey shots from the hill, and that's what the Leopard PTA does. Look, it's a medium tank. It's got no armour whatsoever. And in this game, which has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 Tier 10 enemy tanks, got to be a little bit careful. Doesn't quite aim his shot towards the Type 4 Heavy very well, and gets it into the dirt. Probably should have waited a bit. The mouses in the T30 trying to hold back that heavy assault. There's that Patton, 339 into the turret, and those mouses doing the right thing, just holding back that advance. If these mouses here, they hold that line there. Whenever these enemy heavy tanks push into them, they're going to be exposing their sides to Agent Infinity, to the IS-6. That IS-6 in a failed platoon, it must be said, with the T95, T30. There's the T95. IS-6 normally don't see Tier 10s. That's why I'm calling it a failed platoon. And there you go. The mouses look like they're pushing into the friendly mouses. Agent Infinity not wasting ammunition here. Not going to shoot when it's so nicely angled. I reckon if that mouse that he just fired at had have turned his turret a little bit more, that would have penetrated. But look at all those hit points. 3,200 hit points on the Tier 10 German heavy tanks. He shoots and tracks one of them. If he had held back, he would have had a nice shot into the side of that IS-7. Sticking with standard ammunition, which is a PCR. And the friendly mouse is calling for help. And people, they really want to be firing into these. Can't see anyone really shooting into these heavies, which are starting to expose their sides. Agent Infinity looking at the Type 4 Heavy, gets him for 402 health. Even though it was reasonably well angled that time, I'd probably call myself a little bit unlucky if that was me in the Type 4. As Agent Infinity puts a nice shell into the top of the T57 heavy tank. And the artillery, it looks like he drops a bit on him, and Agent Infinity goes again. Always handy to get rid of these autoloaders. That 4-shot burst can be devastating, especially if it's up against 2 low health tanks. Those mouses calling for help And the Type 4 Heavy just kept saying no. And thank you very much. He picks up his first kill, taking out the Tier 10 American auto-loading heavy tank. And now that Type 4 Heavy is all alone. He just keeps saying no. He doesn't want to. He doesn't want to play with all those heavy tanks. Hopefully, he can stay there and keep them lit. And because if this Type 4 Heavy that keeps pinging the F6 key, if he can keep them lit, he'll pick up a heap of assisted damage from all these tanks on the ridge lines. I'm tipping they're all aiming that way. A couple of them might be aiming at this E50M, but I'm tipping that the Grill, the Leopard 1, and the WZ's probably aiming that way. Keeps pinging the negative key. Asian Infinity tells him to halt. Thought he was going to shoot him there for a minute. 7-4. Oh, you wouldn't be happy about that not going through. Gets lit, maybe by the mouse or the M46. And I reckon it's Asian Infinity lighting up these tanks. That Type 4 Heavy appears to be a little bit behind some cover. Very well angled mouse, that one. That was never going to penetrate. But 7-4, 2,811 hit points of damage done so far. IS6 sniping like a champion. Put money on that this IS6 hasn't penned a shot yet, because they are pretty heavily armoured tanks, especially the Type 4 Heavy. And of course the Mouses. Pardon me. Looks like the Mouses have retreated. You'd hope the Type 4 Heavy on full health could probably tidy him up. No, one Mouse has gone towards the Leopard 1, and one has stayed in this northern flank. Agent Infinity looks like he's thinking about loading premium ammunition. Doesn't need it. Gets a shot into the lower plate, it looked like, of the big Mouse. And with the score on 9-5, you'd be confident of the win, but you'd really want to maximise your damage. Nice shot into the side. He's got premium ammunition loaded now. Type 4 Heavy has taken his brave pills all of a sudden, and he's going towards the Mouse. No, he's not. He's backing right off. Premium ammunition loaded from Asian Infinity in his Leopard PTA prototype, or his Leopard Prototype A. But sometimes it's not easy to see how that turret's angled. The turret's angled perfectly from the Mouse's point of view. He's not going to penetrate there. So Agent Infinity just waiting for the tank to be a little bit more likely to do damage on, rather than just throwing premium ammunition away. You'd hope artillery would be aiming at him, that big T-92, that big American gun. It's the biggest target left on the map, so you would imagine the American artillery will be aiming at the Mouse. 10-9 the score now, so that win that was looking very likely not so long ago, definitely not in the bag, that's for sure. Enemy has artillery as well, so Agent Infinity just making sure he's not going to make himself an easy target. Probably really need to get rid of this low health Mouse first of all. The Type 4 Heavy certainly not even interested in fighting that Mouse. He's just going to keep sitting there pinging the negative key or the help key. Doesn't get lit that time, using the bushes to his advantage, but it is pretty well angled, that Mouse. And he looks like he's just trying to get the cheeks of the Tier 10 German heavy tank, but you know, when he's behind cover, makes it a little bit hard to see which way he's facing. That one goes straight into the side of the Mouse's turret, and the Type 4 still doesn't want to come out to play. This is all going to be down to Asian Infinity. Look, I'm sure he appreciates the damage, and he sees the Leopard 1 and realises that Leopard 1 will be spotting me by now. Reloads APCR, pulls back, doesn't want to get... He's got full health, so that's definitely a plus, but he doesn't want to throw those 1,700 hit points away too early, so he moves back. He probably thinks, if I leave this Type 4 alone, maybe the Type 4 will grow some balls and maybe fire a few shells, but the Mouse is on 100 odd hit points, 120 maybe. 10-9 the score, 3,978 hit points of damage, 1,729 assisted damage from Agent Infinity in his Leopard Prototype A. Artillery finally kills that Mouse, and Agent Infinity giving him the acknowledgement. Very nice shot into the big German. Type 4. All of a sudden the Type 4 decides he wants to ping the map. I'm almost embarrassed for this Type 4 heavy driver. Anyway, the mouse killed him. So clearly this Leopard had good vision on the Type 4 and this mouse just sniped him out. Now Asian Infinity gets lit again, but the mouse on 1228 hit points is possibly aiming towards Asian Infinity. Requests fire at it by hopefully that encourages the artillery to shoot him. And the IS-7's all the way back there, so it looks like this TVP and the WZ might try and take care of the IS-7. Asian Infinity bounces a shot from the mouse, 490 hit points, damage blocked in a Leopard PTA. 13-10 is the score as he looks for shots on either the mouse or the IS-7. The IS-6 coming forward. Hopefully, I'd be. Oh no, it's YOLO time. It's time to use these hit points and outrun the big German gun. One more shot will do it. That'll pick up his second kill, sending the mouse back to the garage. They were part of a platoon, and now it's just the IS-7 left. 4,500 damage done, 2,000 assisted, 490 damage blocked in the Leopard Prototype A. As Asian Infinity looks for that IS-7. That IS-7's on full health, so he doesn't want to be trading too much, but he does have 1,283 hit points still up his sleeve, which is less than the IS-7. Artillery takes a bit off him. Asian Infinity gets a shot into him. The IS-7 puts a shot into the dirt. The IS-6 getting brave again. I'd be shooting that IS-6. Be resetting a battle buddy straight away. Asian Infinity cops a smack in the mouth from the IS-7. Loses his driver. Unlucky enough, it's 2 shots in a row he didn't penetrate. And of course that TVPT 50-51 picks up the last kill, and not a bad result at all. As we have another quick look at the results, it's an ace tanker mastery badge for Agent Infinity from TE Clan on Redshire. Spotter damage for all that spotting damage he did. Bruiser, fire for effect, and of course the Confederate. That was an ace tanker in the Tier 9 German medium tank, the Leopard Prototype A. 4,988 damage, 2 kills, 1322 base experience, and of course a lot of that was sniped, but that's what people tell me. That's what the Leopard is for. Lost a few credits because of those premium rounds, but not a bad couple of games there, featuring Agent Infinity in the Leopard PTA, the Tier 9 German medium tank, the Leopard Prototype A. Thanks for the replays, Agent. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care, and see you all next time.